Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron, and I wanted to talk about my trip to the Philippines and my thoughts about the Philippines. One of the things I noticed there was that they pay a lot of respect for elders. I thought that they do a better job, a much better job than what we do here in Canada or the US and the West in general. They have special titles for elders, whether you're a woman or a man. There's special customs and stuff and ways of displaying your affection or your respects to an older person. I thought that was interesting. I felt people in the Philippines paid more respect to people in general than others. Part of it's because I'm a white guy, and for some reason white guys tend to be put on a pedestal a little bit. Maybe we get a little bit more respect than others. I don't think that's true in all cases. For example, if we were in Bull Hall, we got special treatment if we spoke in English, and people tend to pay, I guess, more respect to me, the white guy, than my wife, who's a Filipina, at the resort, getting our service in the restaurant and so on. And part of that might have been just because I tend to be a little overly generous with tips, but in some cases, like in Coron, we found that it was better if my wife spoke in Tagalog and did the talking. We tend to get better service that way. The other thing about the Philippines that I enjoyed, sort of a sense of freedom. People tend to get away with more things there. People tend to ride around without any helmets, and they take their motorcycles out. Speed limits aren't observed as much there. It seems like the rules aren't enforced as much in some cases. There's a little bit more leeway, I guess. That being said though, because there's a tendency not to follow rules all the time, there is problems with things like traffic, where people sometimes drive the wrong direction down the road and then jam up the traffic even worse because nobody can move. I found in general though, people are pretty reasonable. People in the Philippines tend to be really frugal, like smart, like they're really smart with their money. Like I find people in the West, we tend to throw away our money on a lot of things. There's a lot more variety in terms of pricing, in terms of what you can get. Like you can buy really nice things, like just like you can here in the West, but they can get things even cheaper by like sort of buying lower quality things. Here in Canada, everybody buys the same food, whether you're rich or poor. It's almost like there's a different kind of food for poor people. So let's talk more about the Philippines here. So one of the things I like about Filipinos is they're pretty modest. They don't like to brag about stuff they're really good at. And an example of this is they've built the world's largest indoor sports facility, but they don't really want to talk about it. My wife's cousin was telling me about it, and he was like saying, I think it's the largest, but I'm not sure. I says, I don't think it's really true, but I think it's true, but I'm not sure. And I'm actually pretty amazed about some of their things that they've been able to do in their country. And in some ways, they have more advanced things than we do. And in other ways, you're very much a third world country, like you can tell, right? I wouldn't be surprised someday if, we arrive on Mars and we find that there's Filipinos already colonized it or something. It would be really, I wouldn't be surprised, They'd be like, oh, do we colonize another planet? Oh, I guess we did. But yeah, they're really humble people. They know how to have fun. They don't need a lot of money and a lot of things. They're just happy. They know how to just be humorous, and they like telling jokes, and they're just relaxed, and they're not stressed out as much as we are here. They work really hard, but they're still friendly. They get up really early when it's almost dark, and then they work past dark. I think some of these guys, can easily work 12-hour days. My wife doesn't think they work as hard in the Philippines as we do here. Like we work really hard for like 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever, and then we sort of stop, right? Whereas there, they'll take a siesta, have a little nap in the afternoon, and get up and then do some more work. So it's a little more spaced out, I guess. In the Philippines, when it comes to work, it's almost like survival, but they don't take themselves too seriously. It's hard to explain. Like they have to work, they have to survive, but it's like they just do enough to survive. And some of them actually get ahead. So that was kind of interesting. I think the ones that get ahead tend to be better educated. They go to university or college or whatever. And some of them are able to travel abroad and get jobs, and then they come back to see their families. I have a hard time understanding Filipinos. They have really good family life, but in some ways they don't, because either the wife or the husband has to leave the family for several months at a time while they make a living here in North America or in Saudi Arabia or some other place. And it must be really hard. Like I have a hard enough time being away from my wife for like a couple days or like a week. It was like the longest I've ever been away from my wife. Like, that was like hard. But I mean, I don't know. These guys like can do it like months at a time. And I just, wow. It's like, I have some respect for guys that are willing to just go somewhere else. And I mean, I just feel like I have to take my family with me. But I guess in all cases that isn't possible. And it is nice, like like being there, being in a warm climate. You never have to worry about winter. You don't have to worry about heating your home. There's fewer things you have to spend money on. The thing I don't understand though is the Philippines has like some of the largest shopping malls in the world. There's money there. Like people are spending a lot of money, and maybe one of the problems is they're not investing enough. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's an issue. Maybe they're not investing enough abroad. Oh, here's a train. So yeah, we really like the Philippines. I don't know if I'd want to live there myself. Like I don't know if I want to live there for, you know, permanently, unless I had like lots of money, because then I could retire there and, you know, just have fun. It wouldn't be bad to, I would say, like to go there for a few months and just enjoy some time there. I enjoyed my 3 weeks. 3 weeks were nice. It's really good time to see family, friends. Christmas time was a really good time because that's when a lot of people are out of school, people are relaxed, they're not working. It's easy to see people. Maybe another time might be in the summer. Like their summer starts in March, so there might be it's really hot at the time, so it might be a good time to meet people when they're a little bit less busy, maybe on vacation. Now, one of the things I actually found a little surprising, and this is because I'm a North American guy, I live in Canada. Here in Canada, we're very interested in what happens in the United States, and so are the Philippines. Philippines really like the United States, like their culture and everything. So I found it really odd that other Asian countries, like neighboring Asian countries that are bordered on the Philippines or next to them, like Filipinos don't really follow what they're doing, and they don't really follow what the Philippines doing. It seems like the other Asian countries don't even care about each other. Like they don't, whereas I find that really odd because here in North America, everybody wants to know what's going on in the United States and Mexico. We may not like everything that goes on in other countries, but we kind of have this respect for each other, and we like to know what, as Canadians, we really like to know what the Americans are up to. So I found it weird that countries like Indonesia and maybe like India and places like that really don't seem to care at all about what happens in the Philippines. I just thought that was odd. I just kind of assumed that neighboring countries would kind of like respect each other and kind of want to know what's going on in the other country beside them. But it just, yeah, just weird.